Hello and welcome. You're watching World Business Report here on News9 Live. I am Krishna Kumar. And we begin with the collaborative efforts of Alphabet and AMD that have sparked an electrifying surge. Take a look at this Reuters report for more details.
Stocks rose across the board Thursday, powered by gains in shares of Alphabet and chipmaker Advanced Micro Devices on optimism around artificial intelligence. The Dow added 0.2%, while the S&P 500 climbed 0.8%, and the Nasdaq increased 1.4%. Alphabet stock jumped 5.3% as analysts cheered the launch of the Google parent's newest AI model, while AMD soared nearly 10% after the company estimated the potential market for its data center AI chips could reach $45 billion this year. Data on Thursday showed the number of Americans filing new claims for unemployment benefits increased less than expected last week. But all eyes will be on Friday's highly anticipated November jobs report, which could hint at how quickly the U.S. economy is softening and may sway expectations about when the Federal Reserve is likely to begin cutting interest rates. Matt Stuckey, Chief Portfolio Manager at Northwestern Mutual Wealth Management, says he is paying close attention to two parts of the report.
First and foremost, the unemployment rate, which has actually been rising since April of this year from 3.4% all the way up to 3.9% or so. That's typically what you tend to see kind of on the precipice of actual monthly job losses. Now, we're not expecting that tomorrow. However, the longer that we see a rise in the unemployment rate, typically that means that job losses are around the corner. The other area that we're looking at is the wage part of the employment report. Wages are still too high for the Fed's comfort level.
Traders have almost fully priced in the likelihood of the Fed keeping rates unchanged at its meeting next week, and see a more than 60% chance of a cut as soon as March, according to the CME FedWatch tool.
Away from US and US markets to China, where after breaking a prolonged 6-month trend, China's exports are soaring up again, and that's painting a hopeful picture for China as far as economic resilience is concerned.
China's exports might finally be on the up again. Figures out Thursday showed overseas shipments rising for the first time in 6 months in November. Exports rose 0.5% on the year, beating analyst forecasts of another drop. It also comes after a fall of more than 6% the month before. Recent numbers suggest exporters are overcoming a prolonged slump in demand with discount pricing. Economists aren't convinced that China is out of the woods, however. One official survey last week showed new export orders shrinking for a 9th month. Other figures show weak domestic and business confidence threatening to undermine any recovery at home, and the property sector remains in turmoil. Such factors led global ratings agency Moody's to slap a downgrade warning on the country's debt this week. Chinese markets reflect the uncertain outlook. The yuan eased against the dollar following Thursday's data, and Hong Kong's Hang Seng stock index was down around 1% by the afternoon.
Now, amidst pivotal discussions, policymakers are reconvening to chart the course for the European Union's Artificial Intelligence Act, and they are navigating the delicate balance between innovation and regulation.
EU countries and lawmakers were locked in tense discussions for 22 hours on Wednesday and Thursday. It's over rules to govern artificial intelligence. But by Thursday afternoon, no consensus was reached and talks will resume again on Friday. It was reported earlier on Thursday that lawmakers agreed provisional terms for regulating AI. A document was circulated among lawmakers and seen by Reuters. It said the European Commission would maintain a list of AI models seen to pose a so-called systemic risk. It also said providers of general-purpose AIs would have to publish detailed summaries of the content used to train them. One other obstacle was the use of AI in biometric surveillance and source code access. Two sources said those terms were yet to be agreed. One source said there was tension during the debates. EU countries and lawmakers have tried to finalise details of the draft rules proposed by the Commission 2 years ago. But they've struggled to keep up with the quick evolving technology, which has made a consensus hard to achieve. Much is riding on the new law for the bloc. It could become the blueprint for other governments as countries look to build rules for their own AI industry.
In the auto world, Renault has unveiled an ambitious blueprint. It has unveiled strategies to dramatically cut down production costs and reshape its own future going forward.
Renault plans to cut production costs per vehicle. The French carmaker said Thursday that cuts would come between now and 2027. It aims to reduce costs for internal combustion engines by 30% and by half for electric vehicles. Renault called the move an industrial transformation. The automaker further said the cost cuts would make the firm more agile and competitive. Renault also said it would make 4 new models at its Bursa site in Turkey. Thursday's update comes in the same week its alliance partners Nissan and Mitsubishi announced plans to help out with EVs. The auto giants said they would invest in Renault's EV unit Ampere and use it to develop electric vehicles for the European market. Renault has a long-standing alliance with both Japanese companies.
From cars to pharmaceuticals, where Sanofi is rejoicing the discovery of a promising drug candidate that stands to yield an astonishing $1 billion in revenues annually. And that's not just one. Many of those billion-dollar drugs is what Sanofi has up its sleeve, and that also heralds potential breakthroughs in healthcare as well.
Sanofi has 12 drugs in development which could one day make more than $1 billion in annual sales. The French drug maker made the announcement Thursday. Sanofi said the new candidates include 9 medicines and vaccines with potential sales of between $2.2 to $5.4 billion. Sanofi's update comes just over a month since its stock plunged 15%. Investors were concerned when CEO Paul Hudson unexpectedly abandoned margin targets for 2025. Markets have since looked for clarity on how much he plans to boost the company's research and development budget. The drug maker said it expected its recently launched and future pharmaceutical assets to generate more than $10 billion of yearly sales by 2030. Sanofi sees top-selling anti-inflammatory drug Dupixent as delivering low double-digit annual sales growth up to the start of the next decade. Analysts said the new guidance for the product implied 2030 sales of about $23.7 billion, more than $2 billion above expectations. Sanofi shares gained 1% shortly after markets opened Thursday, but traced back shortly after.
Now, keeping it with drugs, in an innovative move, West Africa has harnessed specialized chemicals to combat pests that are eating away all over their cotton crops. And that is a significant leap as far as agricultural advancement in West Africa is concerned, because these pests have been eating away cotton crops for years on end.
Cotton has been bountiful in Ivory Coast's fields this season. And for farmers like Issouf Kabe Koulibaly, that's a welcome reversal of fortunes.
Last year we had a disease in the cotton called jacide, which really devastated all our cotton crops. So we had no cotton last year.
The Indian cotton jacide appeared as if from nowhere across much of Western Central Africa's cotton belt. The tiny grasshopper-like pest injects a toxin into the plant that led to a near 25% production slump in the 2022 to 2023 season, year on year. Some countries lost over half their forecast harvest. This season, the use of rapidly trialled and approved new insecticides has kept the jacide at bay. Yaradiu Masoro says his last harvest was around 2/3 smaller than usual.
If the medicine hadn't worked, we wouldn't have had enough cotton this year. Thank God we think a solution has been found. Even if the Jacid disease still exists this year, it is late on our cotton, and we already have succeeded in our harvest.
The crisis has highlighted a regional vulnerability to invasive species, but it has also emphasized a reliance on chemical solutions. Research shows that such pesticides will not protect crops in the long term. Cotonou Falaise is an agricultural advisor in the Korogo district.
Any product that is used on a pest over a long period of time, if there is no improvement in the product, at some point the pest will develop resistance to it.
Known cases of resistance in the Jacid have been reported in India and Pakistan, according to an industry group. But in Ivory Coast, farmers need to balance the long-term consequences of pesticide use with the short-term need to put food on the table. Thierry Brevo of French Agricultural Research Centre CIRAD said farmers could not have afforded to lose another 30 to 50% of production, and that insecticides were the obvious choice. But he warned eventually these products won't work. He said the priority should be measures including developing pest-resistant cotton varieties and learning how to tackle Jacids at different parts of their life cycle. Without such long-term solutions, researchers warn that West Africa's cotton bounce may be short-lived.
Now, McDonald's has also some extremely ambitious plans going forward. It is all set to open 10,000 new outlets across the world by the year 2027.
McDonald's is set to supersize itself. The burger chain said Wednesday that it plans 10,000 new restaurants worldwide by 2027. That could make it the fast food giant's fastest ever period of expansion. The news came as McDonald's held a gathering for investors. It says many of the new outlets will be in overseas markets, with more than 3,500 just in China. The country is its second biggest market, and it recently struck a deal to gain greater control over its branches there. McDonald's has been largely unaffected by a choppy year for consumer spending in the US, thanks to its affordable menu. Chief Executive Chris Kempczynski said he was wary about making predictions for next year, but said the consumer had proved to be very resilient. Now the new expansion plan will see it hit about 50,000 restaurants worldwide by 2027. One analyst called the plan ambitious but exciting and said McDonald's has the capacity to pull it off. Among other initiatives, the chain is aiming to massively increase the number of people using its loyalty program. McDonald's is also partnering with Google Cloud to deploy AI systems in its restaurants. That should give it more visibility into each outlet, allowing it to identify cost savings and improve efficiency.
Keeping it with McDonald's in a groundbreaking move, apart from wanting to expand its number of outlets by another 10,000, it has introduced CosMc, a pioneering concept store in Illinois in the US, setting the stage for a new era of fast food experiences.
Welcome to CosMc. What can I get for you today?
It feels great, you know. I've been so excited, the hype.
We're a very diverse community, very welcoming community to new business, so it just fits perfect, and we're, as you can see, very excited.
Wonder how soon CosMc comes to India. Shifting focus to the world of entertainment, Taylor Swift has primed herself for another year of world dominance in 2024 as well, apart from, of course, dominating the year 2023.
Taylor Swift rocked concert stages, movie box offices, local economies, and her fans even caused a small earthquake in 2023. In 2024, she's taking her tour around the world. Here's why it matters. Taylor was really unparalleled in the music business in 2023. Her music had 26 billion streams on Spotify, more than any other artist, and her Eras Tour was the event of the summer. It was a phenomenon. People turned out to sold-out shows in stadiums across the country, dressed up, trading friendship bracelets. Fans couldn't get enough. And then Taylor recorded a movie version of it that went into theaters, and the same thing happened. It was an event. People showed up to dance in the dark and sing along to her songs. At one of her shows in Seattle, 70,000 fans were dancing all at once. They actually caused a small earthquake. It measured a magnitude of 2.3. No one was hurt. Everybody had a good time. Taylor's impact on the economy is measured in billions. Each city that hosted her tour saw millions of dollars injected into their economy. People would travel from far away. They would stay in hotels, eat at restaurants, go shopping. In Denver alone, they estimated that Taylor's tour added $140 million to their city. In LA, the impact was $320 million. The mayors took notice. A bunch of them renamed their cities to Swift City. They want to get in her good graces and have her come back as soon as she can. The Swift effect refers to her impact far outside the world of music. She has more people watching American football because she's dating a football player, Travis Kelce.
The latest status is I got to see her last week. That's the latest status right there.
Kelce jerseys are selling like crazy. She also got people to register to vote when she posted about it on social media. And Harvard and Stanford are teaching courses about her, looking at her impact from politics to business to music and pop culture. Taylor is taking her tour around the world in 2024. She'll be hitting Asia, Australia, Europe, and Canada. She's basically on the road the whole year. She starts in February, ends in December. In between, she might show up at the Grammys. Her Midnights album is nominated for Album of the Year. And then the big question is, what kind of music will she put out? She might release another re-recording of one of the albums from her vault, or she might have new music. She's a very prolific songwriter. She's been busy, but there's a chance. She's been writing and recording on the side, and fans would love to see another new album from her.
Well, Swift Nation it is. Now moving on away from her to an mesmerizing journey, a constellation of Hollywood stars gracing the premiere of the musical adaptation of the classic film The Color Purple, with the likes of Oprah Winfrey and Steven Spielberg in attendance.
And this way, Steven, this way! Fantasia, that beautiful smile. Straight ahead, Fantasia. And right there, guys. Oprah, straight ahead. Oprah. I'm going to go last. One time as a group, turn your bodies if you would. There you go. Turn it to your right side. Trashy, everybody on the right side. You know. Stay over here, Fantasia. Hallie. That smile, Lupita. Lupita, straight ahead. Alice. Move it. Alice. Got it?
And that's all we have time for this edition of World Business Report. Thank you so much for watching. This is Krishna Kumar signing off.
They picked my husband. He was tortured there for 2 years. He was enforced disappeared. We had no idea where he is. Within 15 minutes, we got the information that the whole area is surrounded by Pakistan. I came out from that